everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today I am working on a quick and easy little fall DIY project that I wanted to make for out in my kitchen. I have so many of these different wood pieces from Dollar Tree that I figured, well, let's get busy using some of these up. So, I want to make a little thing to hold like little K-cups, or you could put teas or anything you want in here, or maybe some cinnamon sticks for fall, whatever you want. And I just thought it would be cute on the counter, you know, if you want a cup of coffee, whatever, just got your Splendas, your sugar, whatever you use. You could just keep this right up on the counter for fall. So I thought this would be fun. So look at this. This is actually a hanging little plaque. What is this one called? I saved all this stuff here in case anybody wants numbers. A lot of people ask me for the numbers, so just pause that if you want it. It's just the wood hanging decor, it's called. They have these in a couple different sizes too. It had a hanger on the back, jute string hanger that I cut off because this is going to be standing up. And then this little box. I already tested my color on here to see what I wanted to do. They have these in a bunch of different colors too, and this is just called, you know, they have simple names for everything. It's just called a wood box. So, yeah, and most of this stuff is still $1.25 at our Dollar Trees anyway. They haven't raised those prices yet. So this I'm actually going to stain with this Craft Smart antique wax that I picked up at Michael's. They have all different kinds. I know Waverly makes it. You can get them anywhere. Walmart. You don't have to get it at Michael's, but I just happened to be there the one day and I grabbed some. I'm going to need a little brush here. I'm going to use one of these stencil brushes. And what else do we need? We need some Mod Podge. I'm using the gloss Mod Podge from Dollar Tree. And what I did on here is I gave this 2 good coats of Mod Podge because we're going to iron on our decoration on here. We're going to do some little decoupage, but the easy way. I love that way. So I gave that 2 coats on there so that would have a chance to dry. Now this, I'm going to do, I don't know if I want to do all, I think I'm going to do all 4 sides. I was thinking of putting something on the front here. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. But anyway, I'm just going to use this napkin here. I don't know where I got this napkin from. I have so many napkins. It could have came from Etsy. It could have been one that someone had sent me years ago. I just have a giant tub of napkins, but there are so many pretty ones out. I mean, just check your grocery stores. Where did I find it? Oh, these I got at my grocery store. I thought were really nice. And, yeah, the Smart Living brand. Got it at Giant. I don't know if anybody, they're not all across the country, but check your grocery store because they have all these pretty napkins and things coming out. But, so that's what I'm going to be using on our little, what are they calling this, crate? No, they're just calling it hanging decor. It looks like a pallet. But anyway, or a fence, however you want to look at it. But that's where we're going to put our napkin design. Now first I want to stain this up so it can dry with this antique wax. So this is really, really simple too. Ugh, if you can get this nasty thing. Get out of there. I am just going to paint some of this on here really quick like. And then we're going to take a paper towel. I kind of do this as I go because I don't want it to dry too much. And just kind of wipe a lot of that off. And then it has that nice stain color like that when you're done. And you only need to go, you know, 1 little coat here will do you. But like I said, little by little on this stuff because I don't want it to really soak into the wood too much. So I'm just going to put it on and we're going to wipe it off. And I love that color. It's really a nice fallish looking color. And then I'll probably just use whatever's on. You can use a rag too. You don't have to use paper towels. But just a little bit here to go around the edges. Kind of makes it easier than trying to do it with a brush. But yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to do for this little guy here. So I'm just going to start this thing. I'll finish this off camera because, you know, it's just very repetitive. We're going around. And I'm going to do the inside, everything, same way. We're just going to put that on, rub it on. Oh, that side didn't pick it up as much. We might have to leave this side on a little bit longer. Alright, we're going to let that one Because the different woods soaks in different ways, and I think they use different types of wood on all of this stuff. Or different grains or whatever, because that side did not work like this side. Well, you know what? That'll be the back that I'll glue onto the thing that's going to be standing there with the napkin on it. See where there's a little bit of glue on there or something? When they put these together, the stains and the waxes never go in nice. I wish they'd be a little bit neater when they make these. Let's see, did my side here? Nope, this side wants to stay lighter. Well, you know what? You're going to be the back. So there, because then we're going to connect these together when it's all said and done. So that will be the back, and they'll never know the difference. Huh. I'm going to do the bottom and everything on this one because I just want this to be a nice, finished thing, since it's going to sit out in my kitchen. And it's not going to be like up against the wall or anything, because sometimes I don't even bother doing the backs. But see where there's glue, it does not want to stick well. You could sand that off real good too. But this is the bottom. But anyway, let me finish getting these wax on here, and then we'll come back and show you what's next. Alright, these are all nice and dry now. I did take a little bit of Mod Podge and put right along the edge here because I want to attach a piece of that border from the napkin on there. I think that'll look really cute. And also on here, I went in between these slots with some of the antique wax. I don't want to put on the edges because I was afraid I was going to get some on the edge here, and I don't want it to show through my napkin when I iron it on here. So I took my napkin, I separated it. This was a 2-ply napkin. You just, peel it apart, and then I used the other piece just to wipe my hands on or whatever. And then I'm going to line this up on here. Also on here, I forgot to mention this, I did put 2 coats of Mod Podge on here, but I did not put it down here. I just left a little bit of this plain so it'll glue onto my box much better. And I also sanded off some of that on the back here because this was a side that didn't want to color right, and it was supposed to be my front, and I had already painted the other side, so I just sanded a little bit of that off so the glue will adhere to it a little bit better. So anyway, I'm going to take my napkin here and I'm going to line it up, figure out where I want it. I want that stem to be on there nice, and we're going to line this up towards the bottom like so. Hopefully it'll stay here where I want it. Do we have it all the way on? I think that'll be good right there. And then I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, put over top of it here, and hopefully it's all going to stay in place. Then I'm going to take my iron. I have this little iron. You can use any iron. I got this on Amazon, and I have it set to not really high, but like a cut. It's on a cotton setting. And then you're just going to go over this and iron it on, and then that Mod Podge underneath, the 2 coats of Mod Podge will make your napkin stick to the wood. This is my new favorite way to do decoupage because you have no wrinkles and it's just so easy. So I'm just going to let it sit there in a couple of spots. I think I have it hot enough here. Yeah, that's working good. And then I'm just going to push this up. Hold it there for a second. I apply a little pressure here. Just hold it in place. And then over here. And hopefully I didn't iron in any wrinkles. And I always go around my edges one more time just to make sure that I got, ooh, that's hot, got them down really good. All right, so let's see what we have here. And voila, it is on our wood. All right, so I'm gonna let that cool down, and then I'm just gonna go around these edges in between here too, and just sand this off with, usually I use these nail files. That's like my easiest thing. I get these at Dollar Tree to just go around these edges, but we're gonna let that cool off. And while that's cooling off, I'm gonna grab this here and put this across the top here. Let's see, which way did I want it to go? This way. And going to do the same thing. Hopefully that'll stick a little bit so I can get my paper back on here. And then I'm just going to iron that on. Easy peasy. Now when this is all done, you could seal this with a clear sealer of some sort, whatever you'd like to use. I don't know that I will. We'll see. We'll see what we think. There we go. Now we have that nice little checkerboard edge on there. I think that's going to look nice. All right, so that's it for the Mod Podge part of it. Real simple. I'm going to do this one here. Let me get this iron out of my way before I burn myself, because, you know, I will. That's just my luck. So let me move that back there, out of the way, and then we're just going to go on the edge here, take off our extra. See how easy that is? You always want to go down. You don't want to go up towards your image because you'll take it off. But there you go. And I got a little bit of the color off of there. And this is what I'm going to use on the rest of it over here, because I'm not going to go back in with this wax. I'm afraid I'm going to get it on my napkin. So I'm just using my favorite. You guys know I use this for everything. Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distressing Ink. And this little sponge here. And that's what we're going to go around these edges with. So I'm going to start filing this off. I'll finish it off camera because, you know, it's not a great sound. But this is all you got to do to get this off. Let's just go like so, and you have a perfect edge. It's just that simple. And it's going to be a little trickier because I got to go in between. Let's see, I don't have any glue down there, so that's going to come off anyway, so it's not that that ripped. I don't have any Mod Podge down there because I want this wood to glue. So let me show up this side here where I have the Mod Podge. But how simple is that? And there you go. A nice perfect edge. Now the tricky part will be, which I think I'm going to actually take something short, my little poking thing here. Here they are. And just kind of go in between. I'm just going to tear this just so it gives me a little room here to work in between. And make my, that's not glued down. That'll just make my life easier than trying to get in there with the nail file with nothing. Alright, so I'm just going to get this top piece off here real quick so I can show you guys what I'm going to do. Come on, let go. There. Then if you have a little extra on there, just sand it off. But yeah, it's just that easy to get it off. So now where I cut it here, I'm just going to go in between with my nail file and cut the excess off. Very simple to do. But like I said, you don't want to pull up on it because you will ruin your image. So we're just going to go down in between these. Easy peasy. And just sand all them off. And that is how you make those edges nice and straight. Now, don't look at this side. Alright, so let me finish doing that and then we'll come back and put this thing together. Alright, I got that all sanded off. Down here I took off where I did not have the Mod Podge for the glue. Then I just took some of this distressing ink, went all around the edges here, in between just a little bit. Because I really don't want a lot of it on the napkin, but just to take away some of that real bright color. I think that's just fine. But there we go. And that's all I'm doing for this. Now we're going to connect these here. And how we're going to do that is with some of this super glue, wood glue from Dollar Tree. I love this stuff. And I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue just to hold it in place for me while the glue, that's drying and glue in one word, while the glue is drying. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this wood glue on here, and, because this stuff, that holds like crazy. What do I have on it here? Piece of napkin or something. There we go. This stuff holds like crazy. I love this stuff. I've been using this ever since the first time I found it at the Dollar Tree. Alright, so we're going to use that. I'm going to put a couple of big plops of hot glue on here just to hold this in place while this super glue dries. A clamp, if you will. And then I'm just going to line that up here. I want to just blow that napkin. Oh, please tell me I'm even. Please tell me I'm even. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. Right there. I may have to put a little more hot glue on here because I think I waited too long. But this is how it's going to look once you get your box on there. Actually, I'm going to stick a little more hot glue up underneath here while it's sitting in place. Hopefully that'll grab it. Grab it, please. I don't have a clamp that I can even use on this. So. But this wood glue, it works really fast. So like within a few minutes you can really let go of this stuff. I mean, you gotta let it dry good, you know, for like a few hours. But you can seriously work with this stuff. Why isn't this? I know why it's not holding that glue, because of that wax. Alright. So let's hope this is going to hold here. If not, I'm going to have to go back in and sand some. I thought I got most of that wax off. You don't want the wax where you're gluing. Trust me. Alright. So we are just going to let this sit. Hopefully this glue is going to grab in here, this super glue. Otherwise I may have to sand some more of that off. But I think it's going to be okay. Just don't put the wax where you're gluing. That's all I can tell you. I wish if I would have had another box, I would have just done it differently, but I don't. So we're going to leave that there. And if nothing else, I'll put a little nail in there. Hold that. But, yeah, normally it would just glue to the wood perfectly. All right, so let me hang on to this till this dries here for a few minutes. And then we'll come back, and I just want to add a few more little things to this. All right, I got this together finally. I did have to go back and sand some more of that wax off. So when you're doing this, rookie mistake, I wasn't thinking because, you know, that one piece wasn't covering right, so I ended up painting the whole thing with the wax. Do not paint the back with the wax until you get your piece glued on there. Then you can go back in, and I'm probably going to go over this when this is all done. But do not put wax on there. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I put a couple little nails in there to hold it while that crazy glue dries. Problem solved. I don't even know where I got these little bitty nails from that I have, but they came in handy. All right, now to add a little bit more to this, I'm going to take a little bit of raffia. Let me get my finger protector here and see if I use the right finger this time, because you guys know I put these finger protectors on and then I end up using a different finger. It's kind of like you feel like you have a band-aid on your finger or something sometimes, and I'll put these on and then I like don't want to touch it. I don't know, I'm just nuts. But anyway, I cut a few pieces of raffia, no particular length, and we are just going to glue them right up here, like so. And I'm going to try to use the right finger to get that in there. Look at that, it works so much better when you put it on the right finger. So there we have our raffia, and I'm going to trim that up and fluff that out a little bit more when we're done here. And then I got this garland, fabric garland from Dollar Tree, and I figured I could use this for all kinds of different things. So I did take off 2 different pieces. They're just knotted on there. Just take that off of there. I tied those 2 together, and I thought this was perfect because it has little pumpkins and things on it. And then we're going to glue that right in the center there of our raffia. And I thought that would look really cute on here. So that is that. At least this doesn't have any of the wax on it. Easy peasy. But look how cute that is. I just have to, once that glue cools off, just fluff this stuff up a little. I'm going to trim the ends of that just so it doesn't stick out so far. There we go. Just give it a little haircut. And then you can kind of stretch that up, pull it down, whatever you want to do with it. But that's it. So that was my project here. Made myself a lot more work than I needed to with that wax. But You could paint this, you could stain it too. You don't even need to use the wax. But this is it. I'm going to fill this up with some goodies. I will take a picture of it and put it at the end of this video to show you how cute this is going to look out on my counter. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little project, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day, everyone.